Hello, this is Walter Nelson, and you are listening to KSSU, the voice of Springdale State University. We're here to provide you with news and information regarding all the important happenings around campus, and boy, do we have a lot for you this morning. We start with the results of the University Board of Directors' vote of confidence meeting concerning current SSU President William J. Frost. President Frost, as you will know if you've been listening to KSSU, has been under investigation for the past several weeks regarding the disappearance of university funds meant for the dance department. The meeting of the board was held behind closed doors for nearly 3.5 minutes before the board emerged from the room declaring their verdict. Board Chairman Alfred Stone said that they had all unanimously reached the conclusion that President Frost took the money and would be starting impeachment proceedings within the next several days. When asked about the meeting's length of only a few minutes, Chairman Stone replied, "Yeah, it wouldn't have taken so long, but one of the board members told a really funny joke that we laughed at for a bit. Everybody decided Frost stole the money before we even got a chance to sit down," end quote. I myself managed to catch up with President Frost as he was leaving his office yesterday to ask for his thoughts regarding the board's decision. I'd almost not noticed President Frost leave his office, as he had his collar turned up and his hat brim bent down over his face, not to mention the fake mustache that he was wearing, which he claimed was for a costume for a play that he's in. I inquired how he felt about the board announcing that they would be starting impeachment proceedings, and President Frost's response was, and I quote, "This whole matter is ridiculous. I will fight this so-called impeachment to my last bit of strength. The very idea that I would have taken the money from the dance department is fundamentally absurd. I am a man of integrity and character, not to mention the fact that the dance department doesn't receive enough funding for it to be worth stealing," end quote. When I asked the president about the brand new sports car he was climbing into, he responded by telling me that that was none of my business. As always, we here at KSSU will keep you updated regarding all the information about the situation. Springdale State University has announced the end of its merchandise buyback program. You'll recall that after deciding to change the university's decades-old mascot due to what the school board deemed to be the insensitive nature of it, the SSU bookstore was allowing all students to return any merchandise bearing the old branding and in exchange receive one coupon for a medium-sized coffee from Caramel's Coffee in the Student Union building, as well as the right to vote on the school's new mascot. Students had 3 potential names to choose from, making the new SSU mascot the Bulldogs, Redhawks, or Wind, just the Wind. However, it appears that only one student actually bothered to participate in the merchandise buyback program. Shelley Mendenhall, an English major, turned in an old SSU book bag she had owned since freshman year and voted for the Wind as the new mascot. The school board commended Shelley for her commitment to effecting positive social change on her campus, but felt it rather unegalitarian to allow only one student to decide the name of the university's new mascot. As such, the board announced that SSU would seek out the help of marketing companies and PR firms in finding a suitable replacement for the university's mascot, a process that may extend well into the summer. Until a name is decided upon, all school athletic teams will simply be referred to by the name of the school, as in the Springdale basketball team, the Springdale baseball team, and etc. And speaking of Springdale athletics, this last weekend the Springdale basketball team traveled across town to take on our dreaded rivals in the Summerfield Community College Eagles. Any Springdale State student or fan will be well aware of the heated nature of this rivalry over the years and the great moments of passion and college spirits that it has produced. This year was no different, as dozens of Springdale fans traveled with the team to support them and cheer them on. Unfortunately, when these fans entered Summerfield's arena, they were met by just as passionate Eagles fans. Allegedly, heated words were exchanged, and tempers eventually rose to the point that a physical altercation between the supporters of the two schools broke out. The tip-off time for the game had to be delayed by 3 hours, as a police SWAT team was sent in to break up the small scuffle. Springdale Athletic Director Wayne Gonzalez told KSSU after the incident that most of the injuries resulting from the fight were, quote, "not even all that bad if you don't count the more severe head injuries that kind of skew the statistics. After all, this is the kind of spirit you like to see from a fan base. Sure, a couple people may have walked away with some bumps or bruises, but what can really make fans feel like they're involved with their team and their school more so than a small little riot? I just hope they got in at least a couple shots on those filthy Summerfield dirtbags for me. I almost picked up a chair and went into the brawl myself, but it was mostly over before I could. Next time, Summerfield, next time, end quote. Sadly, the fight before the tip-off to the game was about all the action Springdale would see that night, as the game had to be called off. After the university's administration ruled the school's athletic teams would not be allowed to wear any uniforms sporting the old Springdale mascot or name, the basketball team could not scrounge up enough generic jerseys to play in. Summerfield offered to let the team borrow their practice jerseys, but SSU coach Mike Richardson flat out refused and elected to forfeit instead, resulting in a loss on Springdale's record. After the decision, he was quoted as saying, "I have absolutely no regrets taking a loss instead of lowering ourselves to wearing Summerfield's jerseys. That would have been much more humiliating being seen in those rags bearing the logos of such a pitiful excuse for community college than a loss. If anything, we should look at this forfeit as a major victory, as we avoided the ultimate embarrassment of having to look like some peons that attended Summerfield Community College." End quote. The Springdale basketball team will be playing at home this weekend, taking on the Weston Lambs both Saturday and Sunday night, depending, of course, on the ongoing uniform situation. Springdale Community College has announced that the annual Springdale Snowman Building Contest will be held next Monday, though there will be some changes taking place. First off, the contest will no longer be focused on constructing snowmen. Instead, the school board encourages students to focus on making snow figures of all varieties as part of, as part of the university's ongoing commitment to fostering inclusive spaces in every aspect of college life. Additionally, there will be positively no snowball fights allowed during the contest. In the past, the various graduating classes would often start snowball fights amongst themselves during the snowman building contest, to the point that it became almost an unsanctioned part of the festivities. However, after last year's infamous pine cone incident, which resulted in one student getting a black eye and another receiving several scrapes on their arm, Springdale State has officially banned any type of snow-related projectile throwing on campus. Keep in mind, the school board said in an official statement, that snowball fights often result in injuries, which could result in lawsuits, causing the university to lose money and therefore have to raise tuition. And on that note, my producer and KSSU station manager Ralph Hubbard is in my ear, telling me that is all the time I have this morning. You will hear my voice again later this afternoon when I give you further news and updates from around our campus. In the meantime, we go to our scheduled hour of royalty-free piano music, featuring some of your all-time favorite titles like Jingle Bells and Happy Birthday. I'm Walter Nelson speaking for KSSU, the voice of Springdale State.